Hello everybody, all of my wonderful friends, and welcome back to another discussion video. Today I'll be talking about a topic that is sort of hot within the community. There's a lot of talk about it, especially on the Discord server from time to time, and it's a thing that a lot of people have very differing views on. So today I'm going to be talking about that and telling you what I personally think and why. So the question is whether or not RobTop, the sole developer of Geometry Dash, is lazy, or incompetent, or whatnot. Here's the general line of thinking for people who make this claim. 2.2 has been in development for 5 years now, and we have still not seen a single sneak peek of a single level. We expect there to be 2, but there's only 1 confirmed so far, but he just really hasn't talked about either of them all that much. All we really know is that he's been working on the sneak peek since at least 2018, and that there's a big bug preventing development, but that he's fixed that in about August or so. But ever since then, he's been pretty vague about the status of it, only saying recently that he's been focusing most of his time on icons, and that he can switch his focus to the sneak peek if we all really want him to. And overall, his transparency has been very on and off. It's difficult to tell where he is, not just in the sneak peek process, but the update process as a whole. Sometimes he's incredibly active, and sometimes he goes a couple weeks without telling us anything. And when he does come online, it's very hit or miss whether he tells us any useful information or not. So quite a number of people have taken all of this and concluded that RobTop is lazy, he's unmotivated, or that he just doesn't care about Geometry Dash. I'm going to tackle that last point first. I think it's incredibly absurd to say that RobTop doesn't care about Geometry Dash, because he has proven time and time again that he absolutely does care quite a bit about the game and its community. First of all, he updates Geometry Dash for free. Maybe not consistently, but he does do it. He's done it for 11 or so updates now. And it isn't as if he's under any sort of obligation to update the game. He could have just kept updating it and waiting until it got a lot of money, and then he could have just abandoned it, or sold it off to a bigger company. Or he could have charged money for updates, or upped the price of the game as a whole. But he hasn't done any of that. The game is still incredibly cheap, especially compared to other video games on the market, especially considering how big and full Geometry Dash is. Additionally, RobTop often implements community suggestions into updates. If you go onto the official Geometry Dash Discord server and you scroll through all of RobTop's messages, you can see quite often somebody asking him, hey, can you implement this small little quality of life feature? And he says, sure, I'll do that. For example, a left-handed option in platformer mode. Moreover, RobTop has said multiple times that 2.3 is planned to be an update full of community-suggested features. He suggested the idea of going on livestream and implementing features that people ask for on the fly, which honestly sounds incredibly cool. A little while ago, he was also asked if he would ever sell Geometry Dash to a bigger company, and he said no, because he wants Geometry Dash to stay within his vision for the game. And this is pretty admirable, because he'd likely get a lot of money for it, maybe even more so than he would ever make off of the game without selling it, so this really does show that he genuinely cares about the game. I know RobTop doesn't get on Discord incredibly consistently, and people think that this means that he doesn't have things to show us, that he's already spoiled the entire update and there really isn't as much to it as we might think. But again, this really just isn't the case. He's already confirmed that there are many features that he just hasn't showed us, and that he isn't going to show us before the update releases, because he wants to have elements of surprise left in the update. Plus, it isn't as if there's any point in the past where RobTop has lied about the content of an update. I mean, there's no point anyway, because if he lied and said there's a certain thing in an update, we would all know that he lied when the update releases. The closest I think RobTop has come to laziness is pushing off fixing certain things and features and doing other work in the meantime. For example, I believe in late 2018 or so, after encountering that big bug in the sneak peek, he kind of pushed off working on it and worked on a whole bunch of other stuff. But that doesn't mean he's lazy at all. He always eventually comes back to these issues, and even until then, he's still actively working on making the game better. 2.2 is going to be the biggest update in Geometry Dash history by a long shot, practically as big as every other previous update combined, if not bigger. It will more than double the entire current icon count. It will add in whole new systems and core gameplay mechanics, which I think is the ultimate show of passion for the game. So, conclusion, is RobTop lazy? I really do not think so. He has proven time and time again that he really does care about the game, he cares about the community, and he cares about making this update as best as it can be. And that's exactly why the update has taken so long. He said that he adds stuff to the update, but during that time, the community expectations for the update have risen, so he feels the need to add even more stuff to the update because he doesn't want us to be disappointed. RobTop is honestly one of the hardest working game developers I've ever seen, with the only even harder working ones potentially being Concerned Ape, the guy who makes Stardew Valley, and Masahiro Sakurai, the director of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and of course every previous Super Smash Bros. Game. Hi everyone, this is Sherbert. Sherbert is a soft and fuzzy boy. He is kind, but there are 3 things that he dislikes in this world. 1 is cinnamon jelly beans, 2 is country music, and 3 is the fact that you aren't subscribed to this channel. So, make Sherbert's day a little bit better, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. So I definitely do not think RobTop is lazy at all. However, while he might not be lazy per se, there are some aspects to how he interacts with the community that I would like to see some improvement on. The first thing is that I would really prefer if he put his full focus right now into getting the sneak peek out. It would satisfy people immensely as we've been waiting so long for it. And it would cement the fact that 2.2 is really a real thing, and that it's actually coming. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who really don't believe that 2.2 is like an actual thing that's coming, which is a whole nother discussion. And having that sneak peek would just really regenerate a lot of hype that I think has been lost over time for the 2.2 update. Another thing I would really like to see is full transparency with the community from now until 2.2 releases and hopefully after. Some ideas I have for this is that maybe he could give us a checklist every other week or so, telling us everything he has left to do to release 2.2. Obviously, a lot of things would have to remain incredibly vague so as not to spoil the update, but that's easy enough. He could just replace the name of something with redacted. Alongside these checklists, we could also get an estimated release window of both the sneak peek and the update, and he would update all of this every other week. So maybe he says, okay, I think it'll come out in March. And then maybe 2 weeks from now, the next update, he could say something along the lines of, okay, a few systems took a little longer than I expected, so I'm going to say it'll be late March to early April. And then the next time he might say, alright, I decided to cut down on the icon count that I have yet to implement, so it'll be released still in mid-March. And he could just keep doing that. And there is a currently unknown, even unknown to RobTop, final date when 2.2 will be released. And as we get closer to that date, his estimate for when 2.2 will come out will undoubtedly become more and more accurate. And I think having that would just not only generate a lot more hype within the community, but calm down a lot of people, especially the more negative ones. Something else I think it would be good to see is that when somebody asks how something is going, for example, how's the sneak peek going, usually he says something along the lines of, it's going good, which is nice and all, and I'm glad that it's going good, but it would be nice if we got just a little bit more detail. And in general, I would really like it if he was able to come on Discord more consistently. Not necessarily more often, but just have maybe some sort of schedule. Something like twice a week for 1 hour at a time. And maybe every week it would be on different days, and he wouldn't tell us what days they would be beforehand, just to prevent even more spamming than usual. So when he comes on, it's a surprise, but we know he'll stay for about an hour or so, just so we could feel like he isn't very separated from us. This next suggestion is 100% debatable, it's entirely my own opinion, but I would kind of like if he spent a little less time rating levels and more time working on the update. For example, if nowadays he spends half hour a day on average rating levels, maybe he could drop that down to 10 to 15 and just give him that little extra boost for working on 2.2. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this one, and I'm not saying you have to agree with me, I'm just putting it out there. If that happened, I would personally be happy. And the final point for this video is that I really hope that 2.2 is genuinely the last super big update. 1.9 took a little while, 2.0 took even longer, and 2.1 has been the longest update ever that has been released. RobTop himself has agreed with this multiple times. He said that for 2.3 it's absolutely going to be a much smaller update, and that he wants it to take 6 months at the maximum. However, he did say this about 2.2 as well, so I really hope he's learned his lesson this time, and I think he has. So that's really all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a like, it would make me very happy, and you could also subscribe to this video and you'll be notified every single time I upload a video. Thank you all so much for watching, I hope you have a wonderful day, make sure to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep tonight, drink some water if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in my next video.